Questions for Coach Mosley.
Coach Dan Savage at OrlandoMagic.com. After a slow shooting first quarter, what did you see from your group from the second quarter on?
Well, just the energy and the attention to the physicality and the fight defensively. You talk about the third and the fourth quarter, 2 20-point quarters defensively, and we're going to continue to talk about that. On the defensive end, you give yourself a chance. Doesn't matter if you're making or missing shots. You got to hang your hat on the defensive end.
Jamahl, Matt Marshall, the Orlando Sentinel. How much of an impact did Cole make tonight? Obviously, coming back after being gone for so many games.
Well, that first half was, our guys trying to find a rhythm with one another. It's been some time since they've been on the court together, it was a little bit of a feeling out process. But Cole's energy, his intensity, and his will to push guys, and those guys rallied around him, and he supporting them. So he has a great impact with us.
Coach Aaron Goldstone, Orlando Pinstripe Post. Your starters to begin the game didn't have a lot going on. How critical were those minutes at the end of the first and early in the second that your bench was able to keep the team connected, and Mo Wagner in particular? How big was he for your team tonight?
I think that it was huge for us. Our ability to sustain it and then push some effort towards those runs, hold them a little bit from going on those long runs. Our bench did a great job. I'm proud of those guys for sticking with it, staying together, and continuing to fight.
Jamahl, how much of this, like weathering the storm, when you guys kind of fell behind a little bit in the first half, was that kind of the message to the team, was just kind of weather the storm a little bit and then let things kind of eventually click in?
Well, at the halftime, the talk was more about we got to be who we are. And that first half was not, that was not who we were at all. You talk about the intensity, the fight, the resilience. We didn't show that as much in the first half, but that second half is exactly who we talked about being resilient, fighting. The second unit came in, did a heck of a job, which turned the starters up in the second half. And again, 2 20-point quarters, again, at the defensive end of the floor.
Taylor, USA Today, to see Franz hit that shot to put you guys up when you couldn't really get over the hump there to either tie it or take the lead. What'd you see from him in that moment?
Well, you see it from all of our guys in their ability to not be afraid to take the big shot, not afraid of the moment. And that's that competitive edge that we've continued to talk about these guys having and wanting, fighting through no matter what's happening. But Franz being able to step in, his basketball IQ and his competitive nature, exactly what, sets him apart.
Jamahl, wins like this, does it kind of feel like now these guys are starting to get the message a little bit more and things are starting to click a little bit better for you guys?
Well, we're going to continue to build on it. But, obviously you have to just continue to enjoy this one for this moment. But it's about us continuing to get better, us continuing to fight, us continue to work towards the defensive side of the ball, and then just continue to keep going.
Philip Rossman-Reich, Orlando Magic Daily.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, it's not just one person guarding guys like Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic, but how big was Wendell Carter's defense and his ability to kind of stay in front of his man and be a presence in the paint against especially those two centers?
No, that's exactly right. Dell did a phenomenal job of being able to sit down and guard and taking on that challenge. We talk about 5 guys on a string. He wasn't alone out there, but he did a heck of a job sitting down and keeping Joker in front of us.
Any final questions? All right. Thank you, Coach
Thank
Mosley.
you.
Cool, Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com. How's it going? Good to see you. After a slow shooting first quarter and defensively in the first half, what did you guys see? What were you able to do to turn it around?
Everyone just, we got to halftime. Coach didn't really give no long sermon, no long speech. He just kind of came in there and told us what it was, man. It's like, yo, we got to compete. And, everyone kind of responded well. We all held each other accountable. No one was mad. No one was pointing fingers for real. And, we just got out right after halftime and just got out to a good start, man. And, we just had some energy. That was the main thing. We came with some energy and really, turned up everything at that moment. We really started to compete. And so that's what gave us a chance to win that game. We ultimately were able to end up winning it.
Cole, Matt Marshall, the Orlando Sentinel. You come back from 6 games out, being with an injury. What was it like the first couple of minutes? Did you feel a little bit of an effect on that? And then did things kind of loosen up maybe in the second half for you?
Yeah, I was just like kind of just, it's one thing to watch the game, it's one thing to play the game. So I've been watching a bunch of film and, watching obviously the team play a lot and, kind of just dissecting the game. But once you go out there and play, it's a little bit different story. So I think it took me a second to kind of get that going. But once I got that going, man, felt good, man. Back to, normal Cole stuff.
Cody Taylor, USA Today. what'd you see from Franz throughout the game, and then to hit that big shot there to put you guys up?
No, just Franz can hoop, man. I just said it a couple times. That kid got a chance to be a heck of a player, yo. He really does. And I'm a huge fan of his game, and so I also have full trust in him, and I'm just I see him work. I see how much he cares about it. So it's really awesome to see out there, watch him be able to hit big shots like that. So that was big.
Cole, Aaron Goldstone, Orlando Pinstripe Post. Things are a little flat early on when you guys made your run in the second half. You could feel the energy in the building pick up. How much did you guys just feed off of the fans and the crowd noise and just the energy in the building to help you guys push it across in the second half?
Yeah, man. I mean, when I first got out here for the warm up, I was like, dang, no one wanted to come see us play. And so I seen it fill up a little more. Even the first half, this energy was kind of dry there. So I'm glad at least when we started doing something right that they wanted to show us a little love. So that was cool. But, shout out to the fans for sticking with us. I know it's been rough, but shout out to them.
Cole, being out 6 games, was there any frustration? I mean, because you're very much a competitor. You want to be out there. Was there any sort of frustration during that time period? Maybe wanting to be out there and be healthy and help out.
Yeah, man. I was really upset at the time I got hurt too, because I felt like we had a couple of games. We had just beat the Knicks. We should have beat the Brooklyn Nets. So I thought we were really starting to figure it out, and then I get hurt. Just a bad time after that. We go to Milwaukee. I mean, dude's spirits is kind of down, and it's just we struggled a little bit. But I was just happy that I just really want to get out there and help my brothers. That was the main thing. But I was able to do that tonight, and we was able to get a win. So that's cool stuff right there.
What was it like for you guys to beat Aaron in his first game back, and just how does that feel odd to play him? Match up against him.
Yeah, low key for me. I mean, probably a little more so for dudes like Mo, T. Ross, who played it with him much longer. But even so, while he was here, me and T. Ross, AG was a real cool dude, man. I got a lot of love for him and very appreciative. He actually, he was renting me my first apartment out here. So shout out to AG on that. But it was definitely dope to not let him come back here and just walk all over us. I mean, he had a good game. Gotta give him his props, but I was happy we were able to walk away with the dub.
Anything else for Cole? All right. Thank you. Go ahead, Dan.
Franz, Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com. Kind of after the slow shooting first quarter and defensively first half, what did you guys see in the second half? What were you able to do to kind of correct things and turn things around?
I thought we took some good shots in the first half that just didn't fall. I think that happened in the Cavs game as well, but I think we turned it up defensively in the second half. Made a lot of easy baskets at the rim where no one really was there to help. So, we just tried to watch the cutters. They cut really well off the ball with Jokic having the ball in his hands. And, I think turning it up defensively helped us on offense too in that second half.
Franz, you obviously getting Cole back had to be a huge help. I know early on you kind of getting him back into the rhythm with the group was a little difficult, but then in the second half you guys seem to heat up. How important is he in the lineup for you guys?
I mean, he's extremely important. He's our starting point guard. I think he did a really good job of facilitating those first couple of minutes and getting others involved. And when he didn't have anything, try to run a play and get us a good shot that maybe it wasn't his shot, but I think that helped us a lot. And then, when it counted, I think he stepped up big time and made a couple of really big shots for us. And that's what we need him to do. I think in those last couple of minutes, that's where we want the ball to have.
Cody Taylor, USA Today, you hit that big shot there, that 3-pointer to put you guys up. What did you see on that play, and just how did it feel to hit that shot in such a big time moment there?
Yeah, I came off a pick and roll. Probably should have passed it earlier, and then they kind of messed up a switch or something, and I was just open and shot a 3. Obviously felt really good. It was a close game. We needed to win really bad, and the crowd was into it and was really hyped, so it was a lot of fun.
Phil Rossman-Reich, Orlando Magic Daily.
Hey, Franz, what changed defensively in the second half? You guys obviously give up only 40 points, but the defense really seemed to be the catalyst for the offense. What was the message at halftime, or what changed do you feel like in the second half defensively?
I don't think if it was I don't know if it was anything we said at halftime. It was just in the first half we just didn't do what we wanted to do before the game and what we said what we have to do to win this game, and that was being a ball pressure and not allowing them to just play an easy game. And obviously we played some zone in that second half that kind of took them out of their rhythm, but I think that was the main thing to not just have an easy game and just pass around the perimeter. That's what they're really good.
Any final questions for Franz? All right, thank you.
Wendell, Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com. After a slow shooting first quarter and defensively in the first half, what were you guys able to do after halftime to kind of turn the tide?
We struggled with shooting a lot this year. That's kind of something we struggle with, which is basketball. But what coach kind of came in and told us at halftime is we can't live and die by the jump shot. We can't allow that to affect our defense. And I feel like we came out, we did a hell of a job on containing some of their best players, their best scorers. And, it's really sticking to the game plan that we had set up at the beginning of the game. So I feel like that kind of fueled our offense, in my opinion. We got a lot of fast break points. And then, when the time was right, we took those shots and we hit them. So I feel like our defense definitely fueled our offense tonight because at the beginning, we were not making a lot of our shots, but we came out second half. We played a lot better defense for sure.
Wendell, Matt Marshall, the Orlando Sentinel. Cole comes back. Obviously, you're a little rough in the beginning, but he was able to kind of get going late in that game. How important is he to have him in the lineup for you guys?
He's very important. He demands a lot of attention on the offensive end. He makes the right plays, and he has that clutch gene. He wants to go out there. He wants to, take those final shots. And, when you have a player like that, we got to find ways to give him the ball. And I feel like we did a really good job, setting good screens for him, getting him open. With it being his first game back, we wanted to get him going. This is just not for tonight, but it's for the future game. So that's kind of how I went into it. Anytime someone's coming back and we know what kind of player they are, I try to do what I can to help that player get going. So I think we did a good job with that tonight, and hopefully, that's just a trend. We just set it for the rest for this West Coast trip we're going on.
Wendell, I believe it was the last time you were here after the Chicago game. You talked about your consistency, come off a big game defensively against Embiid, and another strong defensive performance tonight. How do you feel you're doing in that regard?
I feel like I'm doing pretty good. That's the next chapter in my career that I'm trying to take is that I can be a consistent player on both ends of the court, whether I'm making shots or not. So that's something I definitely put my mind to, put a lot of work into. Just studying film, studying what players like to do, and things like that. So that's something I definitely worked on a lot, and I take a lot of pride in it. So every night, when going against Embiid, Jokic, some of the great bigs in the league, I want to show that I belong. And that's kind of my goal.
Wendell, with a couple tough losses, then you lose Jalen to an injury. I mean, how good is this win, and how much can you think it can kind of maybe spark something good, as you mentioned, going on the West Coast trip?
It's always good getting a win. Of course, no matter when it comes, but I feel like it was very important tonight. Like you said, we have a lot of injured players right now. Then, what you said, Jalen going down, it just makes it tough for us. But for us to go out there and get a win against a playoff, probably a championship contending team, shows that, it don't matter who we put out there, as long as we, stick to the game plans. And no matter what happens on the offensive end, we continue to hold our own on the defensive end. We can play with anybody in this league, and we showed that tonight. And, we want to, for my team, I want to be able to take that to this West Coast trip.
Wendell, things were a little flat with the starters early on. How important was the bench tonight to be able to keep things connected and keep you guys in a position where the starters can make that run in the second half, particularly Terrence and Mo?
Yeah, they did a hell of a job. Mo and Terrence did a fantastic job of keeping us in that game. They took their shots when they were there. They made those shots. They played some great defense as a group, and that kind of set the trend for us for the second half. So, I told Mo, like, you did one hell of a job tonight. And he does a great job almost every night. I feel like Mo Wagner does a good job of bringing great energy off the bench. And he definitely sparked something for us tonight, and definitely did a great job.
Okay, we have one on Zoom. Philip Rossman-Reich, Orlando Magic Daily.
Hey, Wendell, you mentioned a little bit about defending guys like Embiid and Jokic, and obviously it's not just a one-man job, but how big is the challenge of defending them and what did you do to find success against both of them these last two nights defensively?
Something I've been doing a lot more of now that I'm getting older, is studying film a lot more. I'm starting to figure out what guys' strengths are, where they like to shoot the ball at.
how they like to get their points, things like that. That's probably one of the biggest things I've done here recently, especially this year, is just studying the film and just, understanding what these players' tendencies are. So that's something I've definitely been doing. And then, it's a pride thing. I'm not going to let you just, go one-on-one against me in the post and think it's going to be easy. You may score it, but I'm going to make you work every time for it. And that's just the competitive nature I've built in myself. And that's something I'm going to continue to have for the rest of my career. So I definitely take a lot of pride in that.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Del.